Alright, hello. Today we're going to do some simple string maintenance. I'm going to put on a new center serving, a new D-loop, and just try to get some more life out of your bowstring. We'll get started here just by trying to cut this old stuff off. Hopefully you're not trying to be careful not to cut your string. So we'll cut that away. Try not to cut yourself. I got centered serving knots on here. We'll get rid of them. So just thought I'd talk about myself a little bit. So I'm 45 years old. I started shooting a compound bow when I was 10. So I've been doing this for 35 years. I did this, so that would put in 1988 when I started shooting a compound bow. So that was back when we were shooting fingers, aluminum arrows. Your sight was just a piece of stamped steel and you're shooting brass pins, which were not overly forgiving. That was back before there was internet, so there wasn't a lot of information out there. So a lot of everything, a lot of stuff I had to learn for myself. My dad was not a bow hunter, he was a rifle hunter. So I guess I was there. It's kind of, a lot of it was learned through trial and error, and I guess my dad did have a buddy that kind of got me into it, a co-worker, but I guess for the most part I did it myself. Probably a lot of it was wrong, but that's the way you learn, right? So I grew up on a farm, and I was quite a bit younger than my sisters, so I was left unsupervised, and I guess a lot of the times what I did was I was shooting my bow. So I shot my bow pretty much every day, and with that, and I did make a little money working on the farm, and pretty much all of my money I made went towards archery. So like I bought Oh, let's see. My first bow was a PSE. Don't even know what it was. It was a used bow and it was painted and it had the brackets to hold the wheels on and everything. Like I said, I got that when I was 10. Alright. Changing up here. This is 20 thousandths thick poly grip. What I'm going to do is, and this is a AAE serving tool, and I'm going to get it as tight as I can without twisting the cable or twisting the string. And what you want to do is you want to wrap in the same direction as the way your string is twisted. So I'm going to start the tail end, and my string is wrapping this way, so I'm going to wrap the serving that way. So you just lay it back across. Oh, let's see, we're going to start out here. Getting started is always seems to be the toughest part. Oh no! I just dropped it all. Anyway, back to this. I'm going to start about 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches down from where my arrow is going to be on the string. I'm going to hold the loop back here and we're just going to start wrapping. That'll pull itself tight once we get there. Got it a little too tight there. Once you get several in, you're going to want to pull that out. And we're going to get on there and reef on that a little bit. Alright. So, as I was saying, I pretty much will shot my bow every day, and by the time I was 15, I was shooting a 90-pound. What was it? A Hoyt Super Slam Fast Flight, I believe is what it was. And I spent all my extra money pretty much so on archery equipment. So here what I'm going to do is we're going to measure how thick we're at. We're at about 112 thousandths, which is pretty good. So we're going to turn this tag back, and that'll take out a little bit more. Well, I would like to see 110. And I guess kind of where I'm going with the story is that I've been doing this for a long time. Before you could look up on Google what was the right thing to do, how to fix goofy aeroflight, how to tune your broadheads. A lot of it was self-taught. Which is, I don't know if it's the right, better, but makes the learning curve pretty long sometimes, especially when you can't have a whole lot of other people to bounce problems off of. Alright, let's see what we got here. Right, pretty much right there. So then when we get to this point, stretch that out, and we're going to back serve. So I usually do this wrong the first time. Yep, goes this way. So you want to go the opposite way. So when you pull off, when you keep spinning on this end, on this side, it peels off here. So we're going to do probably 10 or 12 turns on that. One, two. Alright, I just pull back on that. And you're going to lay this over. And we're just going to start turning that on by hand, trying to keep as much tension on it as possible. That way it'll keep tight the longest. You won't have serving separation, which is kind of the main reason why we have to redo this. I'll do this probably twice a year. Alright, now we just got a loop there. And we're going to pull that through. Much pressure on it as we can. I'll cut that with a 1/4 inch handout. Cut this tag end out with about the same. And we're going to go ahead and burn them. Careful not to get too much heat in there. There, that looks good. Okay, then we're going to take this bow square, which is had this for a long time, probably close to 30 years. So, I don't know if you can see where I'm going here. I'm putting the bottom of the bow square right at the bottom of the burger button. That's my kind of my goal. So I'm going to tie in the bottom first. Bottom string loop, or knock set. So I'm just going to cut off, maybe a foot of this. And this is some 18 thousandths D97 serving material. I got some 17 thousandths 3D here, and I also have some really thin stuff for sometimes for tying in peep sights and stuff like that. So we're going to go put this knock set right at the bottom line there, because that represents the bottom of the burger hole. And we're just gonna use some nuts in there. And continue to pull this. Okay, we got one in. We get rid of this. Oh, I'm pretty sure this is, I think I learned this way from watching Dudley or Knock On. I used to do nail knots, which worked pretty good, but I think this way works a little better. Seems to last a little longer. And I think it's easier to get it right where you want it. When you tie nail knots, it seems like they kind of want to float around on you sometimes as you're trying to get them tight. And let's see. Alright, now we're going to try to get it final knot to end up right on the top. Just like that. And we're going to do a square knot. Finish that off. We're going to trim that down. And we'll give it a quick burn. Yeah. Alright, I need to grab an arrow quick. pretty good. So again, I use 20. See, it slides pretty nice. Is what you want. Just be able to spin it freely. That's about perfect. Alright. Now I'll do another one on the top. Just like that. You want to give yourself a little gap in there. You don't want it tight against your knock. Otherwise you'd get a knock pinch, what they call it. And what happens with knock pinch is as you're drawing your bow, your arrow will actually start to lift off your rest. Might not be enough that you're going to notice it as you're drawing, but it'll be hard to get a consistent shot, accurate shot. That's a little more than I want. Usually like at least 1 or 2 serving diameters. So if we're at 20 thousandths, that's what we're looking at. Two would be 40. 40 thousandths is 1 millimeter. So that's what we're going to go with. We're going to go about like that. Just going to double these through. And if your fingers don't hurt when you're done doing these knots, you're not tying them tight enough. So my plan is to get a new string here pretty soon. But if I tie this one up, a fresh serving and a fresh D-loop, this will be a good backup string. Now we're gonna get this out of here. And a string is always something nice to have a backup of. You know, most places don't have everyone on hand. You know, you can't trust you can walk into a archery shop and they're gonna have one on hand for you. Some you can, but alright. Top. and do a D-loop. See if I can do this right first time around. So it's a right-handed shooter. You want your top loop off the left side of your bow and the bottom to come off the right side, especially if you're shooting a handheld release, because what you're going to do when you draw is you're going to twist, and that'll take out some of the tension or the torque off the string. So try that in. Try to line it up with my peep sight best as possible. Pinch it in so it stays tight together. So don't spread out wide like. Pull on that one. This one good. There. And we're gonna burn this end. Nice big ball on the end of that one. Keep it tight. And nope, other side. Alright, go through. Had it right the first time. And you're always going to want it to be shorter than what you think, because they stretch out pretty good usually. I'll cut him off at about a 1/4 inch also. Puff it up good. Move your loop out of the way as best you can. Nice big ball in there. There. There it is. Serving, D-loop. Everything ready for another couple 100 rounds. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any ideas of something you'd like to see, leave it in the comments. Let me know what you think of this. If you want to see more bow maintenance stuff, we'll try to get some more of that to you. Alright, thank you.